Do you know why some people refuse the bait of disrespect? You think they ignore it, but they are shaping the situation. If you want that power, listen carefully and notice the hidden switches. Calm under disrespect is not luck. It is trained control. The control begins before words appear, inside a private decision room. The door to that room opens when you notice your rising pulse. That pulse is not the signal to attack. It is a warning. The warning says, your reactions are being requested by an outsider. A manipulator often requests reactions because reactions create predictable paths. Predictable paths can be steered, and steering gives quiet authority. So the first secret is simple. Stop giving free predictability. Keep your decisions behind that private door, even when provoked. Disrespect is rarely random. It often tests your attachment to image. If you must protect an image, you will lose strategic freedom. The calm person protects freedom first, image second, and outcome always. They treat image like a costume, useful but never their identity. Once identity becomes costume, insults tug at fabric, not at skin. A trained mind asks, what is the hidden purchase here? Purchase means the little edge where control can grab you. Most people offer purchase by defending pride with urgent words. Urgent words are expensive. Calm silence is often profitable. You will notice 4 common disrespect signals in daily environments. First, sharp status jabs disguised as playful remarks about competence. Second, exclusion moves that redefine the boundaries of belonging without explanation. Third, bait compliments that hide hooks demanding proof of your worth. Fourth, narrative traps that force you to argue on their terms. The calm person recognizes the category before the content even lands. They whisper internally, this is a status jab, or similar classification. Naming the category deprograms the automatic script waiting inside you. Unnamed stimuli command you. Named stimuli answer to you. Machiavelli once said, if you master your face, you master negotiations. Face here means the first signal others read before any language. The calm face interrupts the loop between provocation and performance. No flair, no eye roll, no tight mouth, just stillness. Stillness prevents escalation. But more importantly, it gathers scattered data. When data gathers, patterns become visible, and options multiply. Options are power, and power invites patience, not hurry. There is a silent framework that calm people use often. Detect, delay, decode, decide, and then deliver only what serves strategy. Detection is body-based. You notice micro-tension and breath shortening. Delay is time-based. You manufacture a small pause that protects choice. Decoding is meaning-based. You separate signal from story and projection. Decision is value-based. You choose an action that defends long-term leverage. Delivery is communication-based. Short, clean lines with no emotional leakage. Each stage blocks the manipulator from purchasing control with your reactions. The manipulator prefers fast games where feelings outrun thinking. So the calm person deploys latency, a deliberate gap between stimuli and output. This latency breaks the trance where insults feel like commands. Inside the gap, you ask 3 quiet questions that stabilize control. What are they trying to make me prove right now? What will answering prove about my status, competence, or belonging? Which response denies them the confirmation they are fishing for? These questions are not for debate. They are for steering. When someone throws a status jab, the untrained mind explains. Explanations signal insecurity, and insecurity invites more probing attacks. The trained mind uses concise neutral lines that return responsibility. Examples include, that is your view, or you may be right. These lines do not submit, and they do not fight either. They do something smarter. They refuse the frame of judgment entirely. Without the frame, the jab has nowhere stable to land. Exclusion moves seek to trigger chasing behavior and desperate pleasing. The calm person recognizes the scarcity illusion hiding in exclusion. They answer scarcity with clarity, not with petitions for entry. The clear line sounds like, I work with mutual respect or nothing. Notice the construction. It sets a standard without defending personal worth. The focus is process, not ego, which frustrates control attempts. Process language is armor because it points away from yourself. Ego language is bait because it invites negotiation of your value. Bait compliments want you to demonstrate qualification on their schedule. The moment you demonstrate, you accept their measurement device as supreme. The calm person redirects measurement to outcomes and principles, not approval. They say, the results will speak, and they leave it there. They keep attention on systems, not on applause, because systems scale power. Applause is borrowed oxygen. Systems are internal lungs for long control. Breathing from within prevents oxygen blackmail during social pressure. Narrative traps are the most dangerous because they script your lines. You are pushed into defender role while the other plays judge. The antidote is role refusal with a minimal polite statement. You can say, "I will not play that role in this." Role refusal dissolves the stage, and without stage, the play collapses. Collapsing the play reveals the naked attempt at steering perception. Once exposed, manipulation loses its sacred aura and looks clumsy. Staying calm is not passive. It is active conservation of leverage. Leverage grows when you store energy and release it with purpose. Angry blasts feel powerful, but they burn fuel with poor return. Controlled responses feel boring, but they compound influence over time. Think of each exchange as an investment with possible interest. Interest accumulates when others learn your buttons do not produce profit. When pressing buttons fails, manipulators seek easier targets or revised terms. Either outcome benefits you: fewer attacks or more respectful agreements. Emotional draining has a signature pattern that calm minds recognize early. You feel heavy after contact, yet no clear task was completed. Your attention shrinks, your future feels foggy, and guilt appears. Guilt without a clear transgression is a manufactured tool for control. Another sign is urgency without necessity, always rushing toward undefined stakes. Constant micro-apologies appear, each one demanding your reassurance as payment. These small tolls drain focus until you forget your original path. The calm person audits such tolls, then closes the toll road. Audit means measuring costs that your nervous system silently pays. Notice how many clarifications are demanded after every tiny statement. Notice how many times you are asked to prove basic decency. Notice how often you leave conversations with less clarity than before. Write these counts in your mind. Then choose boundaries based on totals. Boundaries are not punishments. They are price lists for your energy. You announce the price once, then enforce it without drama. Drama invites negotiation. Clarity invites compliance or clean exit. The voice of calm uses very few verbs of emotion. It prefers verbs of structure like define, align, review, and choose. Structure vocabulary moves the interaction from weather to architecture. Weather is uncontrolled, architecture is intentional, and intention reduces chaos. Manipulators dislike architecture because it reveals their collapsing scaffolds. The moment scaffolds are seen, they stop supporting any false narrative. Seeing is step 1, naming is step 2, pricing is step 3. After pricing, you either sign fair terms or you walk. There's also a practice of internal debrief that protects calm. After any difficult exchange, replay the sequence with precision and kindness. Ask, where did my body speed up beyond my decision threshold? Ask, what framing device was offered, and how did I respond? Ask, which line protected my leverage without feeding their evidence engine? Then design one cleaner sentence for the next similar attempt. This turns every attack into a training drill for mastery. Mastery loves repetition, and repetition builds reflexes that keep you safe. Remember, the calm person is not trying to win every argument. Winning arguments can lose seasons, while losing arguments can win positions. The goal is not victory on their stage, it is sovereignty. Sovereignty means your attention follows your values, not their provocations. You do not dance when whistles blow, you decide your music. You do not fight every fire, you choose strategic fires only. These choices free time and mind, and freedom attracts real allies. Real allies respect your boundaries because they also respect their own. There is a delicate risk when you finally stop reacting. Some people escalate when their scripts fail, and they switch tactics. They may accuse you of coldness to pull you into warmth. They may label your calm as arrogance to pull you into apology. They may claim injury to pull you into caretaking without limits. Understand the move. It attempts to recruit your empathy as leash. Empathy is precious, but without borders it becomes a control handle. Give empathy with structure, never with open access to your time. A useful line is very short and steady and repeatable. You can say, I care, and I need clear agreements for care. This line acknowledges feeling, yet it reinstalls architecture every single time. Architecture breaks the spell where emotions justify unlimited demands from you. Once the spell breaks, real negotiation can finally begin on equal footing. If equal footing is rejected, your calm must hold an exit. Exiting is not cruelty. It is respect for scarce personal resources. Scarcity respected today protects justice for your future responsibilities. Another silent tool is attention placement, which shapes perceived reality. Where attention goes, meaning grows, and meaning drives emotion and action. Disrespect tries to anchor your attention on the attack itself. Calm minds anchor attention on values, standards, and desired long-term patterns. They ask, what pattern do I want reinforced by this moment? Then they speak only sentences that reinforce that chosen pattern unmistakably. They reward healthy behavior with engagement and starve unhealthy behavior of reward. Humans learn fast when attention stops feeding their destructive habits. There is an inner sentence that changes the whole theater. I do not need to be right. I need to be aligned. Right invites debates, aligned invites direction, and direction avoids useless spirals. When spirals are avoided, your energy returns and clarity strengthens. Clarity ends the hunger that caused you to chase approval before. Without that hunger, disrespect becomes noise, not a command to perform. You watch the noise, then you choose whether silence or structure serves. Either way, you remain author of your next page. The secret manual holds one more quiet principle worth repeating. Do not let your mirror become their stage for rehearsed chaos. Mirrors reflect, stages amplify, and calm minds choose reflection over amplification. When you reflect, you return ownership without heat or humiliation. Ownership is the only path that leads others toward maturity. Not everyone will take that path, which is completely acceptable. Your role is to guard the door of your private room. Inside that room, your values choose your tone, not their insults. Now you know the skeleton beneath graceful calm during disrespect. You saw the categories, the framework, the price lists, and mirrors. You learned to deny purchase, to refuse roles, and to exit. Yet there is a deeper trap waiting behind these protections. It hides inside praise, apologies, and sudden kindness after failed attacks. Are you ready to expose the most elegant manipulation of all? Do you know why calm minds rarely defend themselves too quickly? You think it is confidence, but it is strategic silence. If you ever learn that silence correctly, you stop bleeding power. Defense is often a reflex, not a decision. When someone disrespects you, their goal is to pull you into urgency. Urgency shortens your thinking range, and short thinking is easy to control. So calm people train a strange discipline. They delay defense until clarity returns. They do not need to prove fairness in every moment. They let time reveal truth while they preserve their energy. Machiavelli once said, "If you stay still, others show their motion. And when they move too much, they reveal their intent." Invisible manipulation always starts with emotional acceleration. A tone shift, a quick jab, a slight question about your worth. Most people rush to answer these subtle provocations instantly. The calm person instead studies the rhythm behind the words. They ask themselves quietly, why now? Why this angle? Why me? These three questions delay the emotional current long enough to see patterns. You cannot see a current when you are drowning in it. Observation is oxygen. Reaction is drowning water. Psychological control hides inside the illusion of urgency. The manipulator designs small social alarms to make you move fast. They say things that sound like deadlines for your dignity. But calm people know that dignity does not expire. They know that most alarms are staged dramas to rush emotion. So they move slowly on purpose, letting every sentence cool down. Once cooled, most disrespect loses its poison and shows its design. There is a pattern called the velocity trap. It means you are provoked to respond before full awareness forms. When awareness is absent, someone else fills it with their narrative. The calm person builds a small mental rule called the second breath. Whenever triggered, they breathe twice before any word leaves their mouth. The first breath clears emotion. The second breath rebuilds awareness. After the second breath, 90% of manipulation dies naturally, because the manipulator depends on your hurry, not your wisdom. Notice how calm minds listen more than they speak during tension. Listening creates psychological asymmetry, and asymmetry is control. When you talk, you reveal your reasoning speed, your insecurities, your biases. When you stay silent, the manipulator begins projecting, revealing their own. They fill the silence with assumptions, and each assumption exposes their weakness. This is how calm people win without attack. They let the enemy unpack themselves. The trick is not silence for ego, but silence for mapping patterns. Mapping patterns gives data, and data turns into quiet mastery. The calm person's mind works like a hidden courtroom. Every statement that reaches them is treated as evidence, not command. They never accept first meanings. They test the intention beneath each word. If the tone smells of pressure, they classify it under control attempts. If the tone smells of clarity, they open negotiation. This silent classification prevents emotional contamination from spreading inward. Their calm is not ignorance, it is precision filtering. Some people believe calmness means weakness. They are mistaken. Weakness reacts, calmness chooses. Reacting is emotional debt. Choosing is emotional investment. When you invest your emotion wisely, you build psychological capital. Capital can be spent to influence, to lead, or to end manipulation. You never realize how powerful your neutrality looks to untrained minds. Your calm becomes a mirror where their chaos becomes visible, and visibility destroys illusion faster than argument ever can. Machiavelli once noted, "Those who cannot rule themselves invite rulers." Self-rule starts with emotional timing. The calm person uses timing as invisible armor. They speak when their voice cannot be hijacked by inner turbulence. They reply only after emotional wind stops shaking their compass. And when they speak, the message lands with undeniable weight, because it comes from clarity, not from defense. The secret is not to kill emotion, but to parent it. Your anger is a young soldier who wants to fight every war. You must train it to recognize which battles create real progress. Every time you hold it back, it becomes wiser and calmer. Eventually, anger serves strategy, not impulse. The manipulator loses the weapon they hope to use against you. Those who stay calm also practice the art of emotional framing. Framing means deciding what the event represents before emotion defines it. If someone insults you, they might want you to define it as humiliation. The calm person defines it as exposure of the other's instability. One definition creates pain, the other creates distance. Your interpretation is the remote control of your nervous system. Whoever owns your interpretation owns your emotional direction. This is why calmness feels rare. It requires detachment from approval and resistance to false emergencies. Most people need to prove they are right or good or respected. The calm person replaces that need with a private question. Does this serve my long plan or only my short pride? This one question kills 90% of emotional traps instantly. You may notice that calm people never chase correction of others' views. They allow misunderstanding to live until it self-destructs. Because correction at wrong timing looks like desperation, and desperation feeds the manipulator's sense of dominance. The calm person waits, and time itself becomes their defense attorney. Truth often needs no lawyer when silence holds the courtroom. Behind calmness hides another deeper pattern of strength. It is called emotional scarcity, the discipline of limited display. They do not offer smiles, anger, or validation cheaply. Their emotional signals are rare, and rarity creates value. When your emotion becomes valuable, people compete to protect it, and protection replaces disrespect automatically. But there is another layer, even more invisible than calm silence. It is the psychological inversion that turns disrespect into resource. Those who master it use insults as data to map power lines. They trace who defends whom, who stays quiet, who watches reactions. Through every act of disrespect, a hierarchy quietly reveals itself. And the calm person records it like an architect drawing blueprints. In that blueprint, real control is never loud. It is observed. Yet calm has one hidden cost. Too much detachment can become invisible isolation. When you disconnect too far, empathy may erode into calculation. A mind without warmth becomes a tool, not a guide. So balance must be trained alongside restraint. You do not need to lose emotion, you only need to discipline it. A calm mind without empathy is efficient but sterile. A calm mind with empathy is unstoppable. And yet, there is a secret twist waiting in silence. What happens when a manipulator learns calmness too? When both sides use stillness as their weapon, who leads then? The next revelation will expose how calmness itself can be hijacked. Are you ready to see how tranquility becomes manipulation's most dangerous disguise? Do you know calmness can also become a weapon in disguise? You think silence is safety, but silence can control just as sharply. If you miss this truth, you will mistake domination for peace. Some manipulators use calmness not as discipline, but as theater. They have learned that emotion creates exposure, and exposure costs leverage. So they adopt a mask of stillness to hide strategic coldness. Their quiet tone seems peaceful, but it drains power from others slowly. This is the art of psychological freezing. Control without confrontation. While you struggle to read their calm, they are reading your anxiety. Machiavelli once said, "Whoever appears moderate among chaos will rule the room." And many have used that lesson not for balance, but for control. They speak gently while rearranging your reality with subtle sentences. They never raise their voice, yet they lower your confidence gradually. This is not calmness. It is emotional anesthesia. It looks like composure, but it paralyzes others into submission. You will recognize false calm by its aftertaste. Real calm leaves you lighter. False calm leaves you smaller. After each talk, you feel unsure about what you said or felt. That fog is not confusion. It is engineered uncertainty. Engineered uncertainty breaks your inner compass and makes you seek their cues. And once you start seeking cues, dependence begins silently. Dependence always starts politely, like needing approval to feel correct. The manipulator's calm tone disarms your guard instantly. Humans associate softness with safety and politeness with honesty. But in dark psychology, politeness can be a delivery system for control. A soft tone with hidden pressure is more effective than open anger. It bypasses your defense system because it feels reasonable. You accept the message without resistance, believing calm equals truth. And once you accept that equation, calm people can rewrite your beliefs. They often use subtle word constructions that sound neutral but shift power. Phrases like, "I understand you are emotional," or "let us stay objective." These are not empathy lines, they are dominance cloaked in composure. The goal is to position themselves as the rational standard, and once they become the standard, your reactions seem irrational automatically. This forces you to doubt your perception and adjust behavior for acceptance. And that adjustment becomes long-term control disguised as mutual respect. The deeper trick lies in rhythm. Their speech is slow, controlled, and spaced to regulate your nervous system. You begin to unconsciously match their pace, losing your natural tone. This rhythm entrainment rewires emotional hierarchy in real time. You start feeling calm only when they are calm with you. And that dependency transfers emotional authority from your mind to theirs. It is invisible hypnosis built from predictability and tone. Real calm frees others. False calm binds them. The difference is intention, not behavior. Real calm watches without agenda. False calm collects reactions for leverage. When someone's silence always ends with your guilt, it is not peace. When every calm talk leaves you apologizing for nothing clear, it is not balance. When you feel relief only after agreeing with them, it is not harmony. These are not accidents, they are engineered emotional hierarchies. To resist such calm manipulation, you must learn mirror neutrality. Mirror neutrality means you match calm without surrendering internal authority. You slow your tone, but you do not lower your self-perception. You listen, but you track emotional direction inside your own frame. You observe their pauses, but you keep your thoughts independent. This keeps rhythm from becoming hypnosis, silence from becoming leash. Your neutrality becomes a wall, reflecting their projection back to them. The manipulative calm will often test you with silence extensions. They remain quiet long enough for you to fill the space anxiously. Most people interpret long silence as rejection or hidden judgment, so they rush to speak, clarify, or defend unnecessarily. Each word they speak becomes new information for manipulation. The calm controller uses your discomfort to map your emotional needs. They learn which type of approval makes you stable, and which removes it. This map becomes their blueprint for future control. The antidote is discomfort endurance. You train yourself to survive the weight of silence without movement. Breathe through it. Observe how your thoughts demand to fill space. Each second of endurance weakens their grip over your nervous system. You teach your body that silence is neutral, not punishment. And once silence loses meaning, their calm loses command. Machiavelli once warned, "Those who need approval will serve forever." Approval dependence is the manipulator's favorite currency. They never demand it openly. They create situations where you earn it. Every smile becomes a payment, every frown a withdrawal. You start budgeting your honesty to protect their calm mood. And that is how invisible servitude begins under the name of harmony. You must measure calm energy by results, not by presentation. Ask yourself, do I grow around this person's stillness or shrink? Do I speak clearer after our talks or second-guess everything? Does my focus expand or does it orbit around their reactions? Real calm people leave you autonomous and strong. False calm people leave you managed and dependent. This distinction decides whether you are in peace or quiet control. Psychological manipulation through calmness has one more level. Some learn to weaponize emotional neutrality in public settings. They provoke you privately, then appear serene before others. When you finally react, they point to your emotion as evidence. This reversal makes you look unstable and them appear wise. It is a perfect stage trick built from audience perception. They do not win truth, they win optics, which controls social belief. To dismantle this trap, you must refuse both roles. Never try to outcalm a manipulator and never perform emotion for proof. Instead, choose clarity. Use short, factual lines with no defense or apology. Say, "I disagree with your framing," or "that version is incomplete." These statements reclaim ground without feeding their performance. Truth stated calmly but firmly breaks audience illusions faster than defense. Calmness without integrity is control dressed as virtue, and many people mistake that costume for wisdom. You must learn to see behind the costume, not through emotion but through structure. Structure means tracking the emotional economy of every interaction. Who spends emotion? Who earns calmness? Who controls rhythm? Follow that currency, and you will always see the hidden hierarchy. This observation protects you from every polite tyrant disguised as peacekeeper. Yet one last paradox remains. What happens when you start mastering true calm, and people fear it? When your serenity begins to threaten those who feed on emotional storms. The next revelation will expose why some people attack calmness itself. Are you ready to see why peace provokes chaos in insecure minds? Do you know calmness can irritate the insecure more than anger? You think peace protects you, but sometimes it provokes hidden storms. If you stay calm too long, chaos begins to test your silence. Some people cannot stand stillness because it reflects their noise. Your calm becomes a mirror showing them what they cannot control. So they push harder, raise voices, or invent conflicts to shake you. They want proof that you can be moved, because movement equals control. When you stay still, their script fails, and frustration replaces power. Machiavelli once said, "Nothing enrages a manipulator more than a steady target." Your calm denies them the reward of emotional reaction. Without that reward, their authority loses oxygen. So they escalate with new tricks, pretending concern or confusion. They say things like, "You don't care," or "You are cold." These lines are not about truth. They are about control recovery. If you defend yourself, you hand them the key again. The wise response is gentle clarity, not emotional defense. You can say, "I am listening, but I will not match your energy." This one line destroys their performance without creating new chaos. It shows awareness without submission and boundaries without aggression. Calmness here becomes active protection, not passive silence. The danger is emotional fatigue. Prolonged exposure to reactive people drains even strong minds. That is why calmness must include distance, not just composure. Distance restores your baseline so you can think without noise. You cannot fix those who need conflict to feel alive. Sooner or later, you will see this pattern everywhere. In groups, families, and even leadership circles. Some thrive only where emotions overflow. They read calmness as threat because it removes their leverage. But the one who remains still eventually becomes gravity itself. And yet one question still hides beneath the quiet. If calmness disarms chaos, what disarms calmness itself? The next part will reveal the subtle weakness inside inner peace. Do you know even calmness has an invisible breaking point? You think peace is endless, but every discipline has a limit. If you do not guard it, calmness can quietly turn into numbness. True calm protects awareness, but fake calm hides exhaustion. Many people confuse emotional shutdown with inner strength. They stop reacting, not from mastery, but from silent fatigue. When feelings are buried too long, they rot into cold detachment. That detachment looks powerful from outside, but it kills empathy slowly. You start losing the ability to feel joy, not just pain. This is the hidden collapse of calmness when protection becomes prison. Machiavelli once said, "Control yourself, but never erase yourself." A ruler without emotion becomes statue, admired but lifeless. You must know the difference between calm choice and emotional death. The calm choice feels alive, alert, connected to every breath. Emotional death feels heavy, distant, and always tired of people. The mind needs emotional rhythm the way the body needs pulse. When calmness becomes constant stillness, wisdom decays into apathy. You stop reading situations deeply because nothing stirs your senses. You no longer sense manipulation, only emptiness. And emptiness is easy to influence. because it no longer resists. The true masters of calm understand balance through release. They allow emotion to pass through, but not to take root. They feel anger without letting it speak in their voice. They feel sadness without surrendering to despair. They experience emotion as data, not as definition. This is living calm, flexible, aware, and deeply human. False calm seeks safety by silencing emotion completely. True calm seeks clarity by understanding emotion fully. One isolates you from the world, the other connects you wisely. If you close too tightly, your calmness turns into cold armor. If you open with discipline, your calmness becomes light armor. One repels life, the other moves with it. There is also a subtle trap of moral superiority. When you become too proud of being calm, you lose humility. You begin to look down on others for being emotional. This arrogance poisons quiet strength and makes it fragile. Real calm never needs to compare. It simply continues breathing. Your calm must evolve, not freeze. It should flow like water, not harden like glass. Water absorbs impact. Glass shatters at sudden change. Remember this when people test your peace or beg for reaction. You are not here to prove composure. You are here to stay conscious. But there is one more paradox waiting. What if a manipulator discovers your calm's need for peace? What if they use that need against you, to control you with harmony itself? The final revelation will uncover how peace can become a leash in skilled hands. Do you know peace itself can become the most beautiful trap? You think harmony always means safety, but sometimes it is control in disguise. If someone learns your need for calm, they can quietly own your silence. Skilled manipulators study not only your anger, but your serenity. They learn that you will do anything to avoid conflict. So they shape situations where peace depends on your compliance. They praise you for being mature, gentle, and composed. And each praise pulls you deeper into quiet submission. Soon you stop speaking truth just to protect the feeling of calm. That is not peace. That is invisible obedience dressed in virtue. Machiavelli once said, "Those who control the definition of peace rule the empire." If peace means their comfort, you will always lose your ground. You will be trained to end tension too early, before truth arrives. Your calm becomes their shield. Your silence becomes their tool. And yet, you will still believe you are being wise. This is the softest chain in psychology, the harmony leash. The harmony leash works by moral framing. They teach you that disagreement equals conflict and conflict equals immaturity. So you censor yourself to stay good. You start avoiding honest discussions, even with yourself. Each avoidance buys temporary quiet but sells long-term clarity. When truth disappears, peace loses direction and turns into fog. And fog is where subtle manipulation thrives best. True calm is not the absence of noise. It is the strength to face it. You must learn to separate stillness from surrender. Stillness listens, surrender hides. Stillness holds awareness, surrender hides fear. Real calm walks into tension and stays conscious inside it. False calm walks around tension and calls avoidance wisdom. The calm mind must sometimes create storms. Storms that clean deception and restore balance. The art is to choose your storm with precision. Speak when silence feeds lies. Act when stillness fuels abuse. Leave when peace is used as a cage. These are not losses of calm, they are its evolution. Many people confuse calm with neutrality, but neutrality has no compass. Real calm is moral clarity without emotional noise. It knows when to protect, when to confront, when to detach. It does not need revenge or dominance, only balance. Balance means every emotion finds its correct volume, not silence. Anger becomes fuel for justice. Sadness becomes depth for empathy. In this way, calmness becomes active intelligence, not passive restraint. You must also protect your calm from admiration. Society glorifies quiet strength, but it rarely understands its cost. Every calm person you meet has fought private storms no one saw. They learn to watch, to wait, to breathe while burning inside. So when you build your calm, build it with compassion, not ego. Compassion keeps calm alive. Ego makes it brittle. Machiavelli once wrote, "Power belongs to those who master both fire and water." Calmness is your water, emotion is your fire. Too much water and the fire dies. Too much fire and the water boils. Wisdom lives in the middle, where warmth meets clarity. There you are, neither cold nor chaotic, neither numb nor reckless. You respond from consciousness, not compulsion. And that is the secret ending of this psychological manual. Those who stay calm are not empty. They are trained. They have seen what noise does to minds and what silence hides from hearts. They use calmness as navigation, not camouflage. They choose stillness when the world screams, and truth when calmness deceives. They are not untouched by disrespect. They are undefeated by it. So remember this final rule. When peace demands your honesty, protect it. When peace demands your silence, question it. And when calmness begins to cost yourself, break it before it breaks you. Because the highest form of calm is not quiet. It is freedom.